Good morning, everybody, and welcome into the Farzy Show. My name is Marc Farzetta, and we are here at the Steven Singer Studios. Hunter Brody will join us again today, talk about all things Philadelphia sports, cover the whole gambit for you. We got so much to get into. We got Vince Velasquez yelling at fans yelling at Vince Velasquez from the other day. A reporter put out a video yesterday that actually showed Vince Velasquez having a little back and forth, but the lead story for me will be the fact that the Phillies just took 3 of 4 from the Cubs, then went into Fenway Park and took 2 of 3 from the Boston Red Sox going into the All-Star break. I love that. I know a couple of weeks ago we were talking about doom and gloom with the Phillies, but they got me back. This is how it goes throughout the course of the summer. When you're really into baseball, when you're really into the Phillies, when you're really into your team, you go through 162 games of, delusion, optimism, pessimism, depression, wondering what it all means type of thing. Why me? All that stuff is basically how I've lived my summers my entire life. Thank you, Phillies, for that. But I am very excited that they at least won this series against the Red Sox and obviously won the series against the Cubs as well. And he went out and he beat Nick Pivetta. And I've heard a lot of people come out and say, oh, they should have never got rid of Nick Pivetta, whatever, just because he had a good start to this season for Boston. Well, since that start, he has not had a very good year for the Boston Red Sox, and the Phillies were able to take advantage of that a little bit yesterday, chased him out of the game in the 5th inning, which was nice to see, and these bats have just all of a sudden come to life. It's funny how in baseball, confidence plays into a hitter's mentality so much, and it really feeds into how they perform at the plate and things that guys need to do to get away from the game, hit the reset button for a second, and then step back in the batter's box to make sure they can attack with confidence yet again. Well, one guy that seems to never be lacking confidence is that Torres fella. I'll tell you that right now. Torres, excuse me. Ronald Torres has been a gem for this ball club. Comes up with the big home run yesterday over the monster and gets this Phillies team really going. And it was just enough to be able to sustain a bullpen game, as we found out it would be once your starter, Aaron Nola, tested positive for COVID and is now in COVID protocol. So it's Aaron Nola. It's also Alec Boehm, who is in the COVID protocol right now. That means at least 10 days we won't be seeing these guys. So keep your fingers crossed that they'll be able to come back right after the All-Star break or shortly thereafter. And Boehm has been swinging a good bat as of late. Had a home run in Saturday's game, I believe it was. So it's good to see him hitting the ball at a much better rate than he was to start out the season. So maybe he's coming around. Cross our fingers for that. And then Aaron Nola, obviously, you want to see him come out in the second half of the season after the All-Star break. And you want to see him really maintain or at least get back to that ace-level stuff that we all know he's capable of having, giving those consistent starts. And he just hasn't been able to have any consistent starts. Great start here, bad start there, bad start, bad start. Oh, he didn't have his best stuff, but he battled. Good start. Like, that's not what you want from your top of the rotation. Really, anybody in the top of the rotation. That's not what you want or expect, really, from anybody. You would expect it more from the back end of the rotation. Certainly not a guy that you're looking at as a Cy Young candidate, as he has been in the past. So, Phillies have me in a good mood. Phillies have me excited. I will say this. I broke a rule. I'll admit it. I broke a rule yesterday. And that's one of the things that's fun about having your own show is that you can break rules every once in a while. This is not a rule I intend to break again unless the Eagles win a Super Bowl again, the Phillies win a World Series, really any of our teams win a championship. It's a rule I intend not to break. What you're going to see with me and Hunter Brody coming up in just a minute here is, and this is before we get back to the Phillies, what you're going to see coming up in a couple of minutes with me and Hunter, I'll say buzzed. Pretty buzzed. Now, why was I buzzed yesterday? Well, if you follow the show, you know that I give the little Euro update on what's going on overseas in the Euro Championship. So the Italians played the English yesterday, and the Italians won. And like I told you before, I was at Grand Cafe Lockwheel in Center City, Philadelphia, a place I absolutely love hanging out at. And wouldn't you know it, the Italians win. And I'm there with my buddy Dan. I made a bunch of other friends. Antonio, shout out. What's happening? My other new friend, Dan, what's going on? Nice to see you. All you guys, I just had such a blast. And I walk in, and it was already at capacity. An hour and a half before the game, It was already at capacity. I don't know how I was able to wiggle my way in, but I did because those people are so awesome. And it was a crowd of, I don't know how many people, but this was the final scene. This is where I was yesterday watching the Italians beat the English. And that's when my elbow was hit, phone knocked out of the hand. I think it hit some lady in the head. And then it laid on the floor. This laid on the floor, I don't know, for maybe 20 minutes or so before somebody said, hey, is this anybody's phone? That's mine. Thank you. So that's been swabbed in alcohol. But it was an amazing time. And I'm not the biggest soccer fan in the world. I'm really not. I give a damn every 2 years, World Cup, Euro, and that's pretty much it. But it was just fantastic. So many people just excited. I'm hugging bartenders and strangers, and it's just a nice feeling and all that. So anyway, I went and did that interview, and I was supposed to have an interview earlier in the day. That gentleman ended up canceling. We'll have him on later in the week. And while I'm there, I bump into a guy, and he says to me, hey, you know my future brother-in-law. And I'm like, cool. Who? And he kept walking. He didn't say. I was like, who's your brother? Who's your brother-in-law? And he goes, Hunter Brody. And I'm like, that's a great idea. And I text Hunter while I'm there. And I'm like, hey, man, can I get you on the night around 9 o'clock to tape an interview for tomorrow's show? He's like, yeah, man, no problem. So the rest of the afternoon happens. I figure out that it's a bad idea to continue to drink beer at this event because it's so many people. So I don't want to continue to go up to the bar and get beers because it's hard to get up to the bar. So I have the brilliant idea that in Grand Cafe Lockwood, they also sell wine. They sell it to go and all that stuff. So I just say, to hell with it. I'm going to buy 2 bottles of wine, one for me and one for my buddy Dan, and I'm just going to watch the game. We'll just drink the wine, and that way we don't got to make any more trips to the bar. So I go up, I buy it. And, of course, I thought I had cleared it to be okay to drink the wine that I bought there at the place. I did not. So he said, no, I said you couldn't do that. I go, oh, damn. So I found another guy, and he was like, oh, yeah, no problem. And he opens up the bottles for us, and we just drank. So anyway, I had a bottle of wine. That happened. And that was after a couple of Peroni. So when we talked to Hunter Brody here, you'll see, you be the judge. Buzzed or hammered? Buzzed or hammered? You tell me when we watch this interview with Hunter Brody coming up in a second. I do want to flip it back to the Phillies. So that was a long teaser. I tell you all that to tell you this. Buzzed or hammered. Anyway, and I'm just giddy with excitement because the Phillies have won back-to-back series on the road going into the All-Star break, and then, obviously, the Italians win the Euro. So here's what I got for you. This reporter, I want to make sure I got his name right here. Matt Rappa puts out a tweet Saturday that says, Phillies fan I met up with at Fenway Park today sent me this. This happened last night. This was Saturday night. Vince Velasquez was not happy after a fan called him pathetic. So here's the back and forth, and they're quick clips. And this is all from Matt Rappa, R-A-P-P-A, Matt Rappa Sports on Twitter. And here's what the exchange looked like. This was the first clip. It's real quick. See if you can pick it up here.
Hey, learn how to pitch.
You hear the fan. I'll give it to you one more time. Here's the fan saying, learn how to pitch.
Hey, learn how to pitch.
For those listening on the podcast, Vince Velasquez is walking onto a bus, the team bus after a game. I actually believe that was Friday night's game. And a fan yells, learn how to pitch. Not the worst thing in the world. Now, obviously, that's not a full long clip of 10 minutes of standing outside to hear everything that was going on there. And maybe a fan did, quote, call him pathetic other than learn how to pitch. So Vince has his headphones on, which is important to note because even with the headphones on, he somehow hears the fan, and here's how Vince Velasquez responded.
Huh? Exactly. Shut up. I want to see your fat ass going.
That's right. That's what I said to him.
Are you guys recording? Oh, that's so nice.
Are you guys recording? Oh, that's so nice. So Vince Velasquez responds by saying, I want to see your fat ass go out there and pitch. I can't confirm or deny whether the gentleman that said pathetic or you can't pitch, learn how to pitch. I can't confirm or deny whether that person's obese or not. However, there's no victory here with Vince Velasquez, and I know there's jokes in there, but that's not what I'm talking about. Why engage with the fan? Especially if your headphones are on and you could easily ignore it anyway. He clearly gets on the bus in the first clip, and then I guess he heard the fan and then came back off the bus to then engage with the fan. There's no win here. First off, to just yell that at somebody in a personal setting like that when he's not in a game and you're not trying to get in his head as an opposing player is just weak. Vince Velasquez goes personal when another guy is talking about him professionally, which is learn how to pitch. I can think of a million other things that we have said as fans, or I have said as a fan, or other people have said as fans, people I've been around as fans, that have said some pretty nasty stuff, a lot worse than learn how to pitch. A lot worse than you're pathetic. A lot worse than that. And things that are horrible about people surrounding them, their mothers, for instance, their sisters, whatever. Vince Velasquez didn't need to engage, especially with something as weak as that. I don't fault a guy for defending himself. I'm never going to fault an athlete for defending himself. But I'm just saying, for all the things to defend yourself over, a learn how to pitch comment seems a little weird. And then Vince, of course, sees people recording and goes, "You guys are recording? So nice." Because he knows it's going to go viral. He knows it's going to go out there. And it didn't really take off all that much. There's only like 300 different retweets and all that stuff. Whatever. No big deal. But it seems like Vince wanted to go personal when the other guy was just saying, hey, you need to pitch better. And by pitch better, he means either he's pathetic or he is more along the lines of a guy who needs to learn how to pitch in general. So that's a little something you might be seeing come up in your social media feeds. You might hear talked about a little bit throughout the day. But bottom line is, Phillies get some time off now. They get to kick their feet up, hopefully relax, hopefully get healthy. But when they come back, then they come back on the 16th. So it's just 4 days from today when they do come back. Hopefully when they come back against the Marlins back at Citizens Bank Park, they'll be able to pick up right from where they left off. I want to tell you about my good friend Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. Steven Singer wants to make sure that everyone's taken care of every single day with the perfect price. No sales, no promos, no discounts, no promo codes or anything like that. Just every single day, the perfect price. So when you walk into Steven Singer, they don't go, oh, hey, sorry, the sale was yesterday. You just missed it. No, every day is the sale because every day, none of the prices are marked up. None of the inventory is marked up. None of the diamond rings are marked up. Nothing like that. Everything's set right there at the perfect price. You don't have to feel like you go in there to negotiate, hassle, haggle, anything like that. You sit in there and you relax and you let them help you out with all the inventory you want to see, all the beautiful diamond rings, all the beautiful pieces of jewelry that they have to show you. Every single day, it's available at Steven Singer Jewelers with real jewelers, real jewelry experts to walk you through everything. Do what I do. Go to Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right in Philadelphia. Once again, everything set every day at the perfect price. And don't forget, IHateStevenSinger.com for fast and free shipping every single day. Do what I do. The big buys in your life, the big purchases in your life, the important decisions in your life. Head to Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, or at IHateStevenSinger.com. All right, without further ado, we're going to play this game. And once again, the game is Buzzed or Hammered will be the name of the game. So let's get on our Rothman Orthopaedics guest line, our good friend Hunter Brody joining the program. All right, I just hit record. I may regret this later. We're rolling. What's up, Hunter Brody? How are you, buddy?
I'm living the. How are you? I'm living the dream. How are you?
Forza Italia, andiamo Italia. Okay, so here's the deal. The Italians just won the Euro Cup. I may or may not have drank 6 things of Peroni and a bottle of wine. More specifically, La Brandy. Not brandy for the Metagons that are listening right now. Not brandy, La Brandy, which is a Calabrese vineyard wine distillery, whatever you want to call it. A vineyard, yeah, sure. Where my family's from in Italy, which is the southernmost point of the boot. But anyway, long story short, the Italians win the Euro Cup, which is awesome. I've talked about it already on the air. But while I'm at Grand Cafe L'Aquila in Center City, Philadelphia, 17th and Chestnut, having myself a grand old time, it's packed. All right. When I say it's packed, Hunter Brody joining us here on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. I'm sitting there. By sitting, I mean standing. And it's at capacity 2 hours ahead of opening kickoff for the Italians and the English. And this guy, like, shimmies past me.
That's a nice shimmy.
Thank you. And he's like, hey, Farzetta. And I'm like, hello, sir. And he's like, you know my future brother-in-law. And I'm like, okay. And I go, who's your future brother-in-law? He goes, Hunter Brody. And I was like, great idea. I'll have him on the show tomorrow.
Love it. And then I got the text message, and here we are today. This is great.
And here we are today. So you were kind enough to respond, kind enough to come on the show after the Italians. Now I can say this in hindsight. The Italians win the Euro Cup. It's a big day. Everyone was losing their mind at Grand Cafe L'Aquila. I had cousins on cousins texting me. You and I believe, talked off the air 2 or 3 weeks ago about how you are marrying into an Italian family. Is that correct or incorrect?
Well, half of the family is, but what we actually had the conversation was, you liked me more because I told you that my mother's maiden name was Angelini, and then from there you're like, wow, you were like a 6, and now you're maybe an 8 or 9 on my scale here, and that's how we really kind of got into that conversation. Angelini, it's a good one.
Yeah, I'm in what you would call a good mood right now. But with all that being said, and down to brass tacks, as we like to call it, the Phillies take 2 out of 3 against the Boston Red Sox. The Phillies took 3 out of 4 against the Chicago Cubs. Phillies are in a good spot heading into the All-Star break until 4 players go on the COVID list. Let me ask you this, Hunter, right out of the gate. Let me ask you this, fourth out of the gate. When it comes to the Phillies, it comes to the second half of the season, how confident are you this Phillies team can at least give us meaningful games in the second half of September?
I think we'll have meaningful games because the division is where it's at. We are a 44-44 baseball team. That is a 500 baseball team. But the fact that the New York Mets is what's leading the division is going to give us those games that matter. And this is the best way I can lay this out. I'm not the most optimistic guy right now with this baseball team because the defense is atrocious at third base and first base. Your bullpen is still a disaster, even though Ranger Suarez can get you 7-out saves. But what I was feeling emotionally heading into Fenway was games that I was highly interested in. I cared. I wanted to see how they were going to react to that moment after those 2 series wins, even though I know that they are still a flawed baseball team. So when you say meaningful baseball, you'll probably get that due to where the division is, but not because this team is the best team in the world, if that makes sense.
No, it absolutely does. What you're saying is that other teams are going to present opportunities that shouldn't normally be at the hands of teams like the Phillies, but yet they are going to present opportunities to the Phillies at the point that there are right now.
Absolutely, and it puts you in a weird spot if you're Dave Dombrowski, because what's best for this franchise is to sell everyone, is to just sell McCutchen, sell Rhys Hoskins, build up those prospects. That's what's best long-term. But if you look Bryce Harper in the eye, you look JT Realmuto in the eye at the trade deadline-ish area after you play a few more series, and let's say you're 3.5 games back, if you're Dave Dombrowski, how can you do anything other than buy? Because you're telling me you're going to look Bryce Harper in the eye and go, you know what? We're selling anyway. It's a tough spot to be, and I'm glad I'm not making the decision because I'd be selling, damn it.
Well, it brings me to a nice question here because just a week ago, Rhys Hoskins was talking about how he wants to put the front office in the most difficult situation they could possibly be in when it comes to making the decisions to be buyers or sellers come the upcoming, July 31st trade deadline. At the position they're at now, I'd want them to sell. But if you were telling me you got to look Bryce Harper, as you eloquently stated, you got to look Bryce Harper in the eye or Rhys Hoskins in the eyes or down the line, Zach Wheeler or Aaron Nola in the eye and say, sorry, guys, we're trading Alec Boehm. We're trading Bryson Stott, whoever it might be. and you're going to tell me that you're just going to be depleting assets at that point. Yeah, I don't want to be on that bandwagon, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in, and it's crazy because they're on this nice run right now, and the way I always put it is all these bad teams, you can look at the worst teams in baseball. They're going to win 2 series in a row at some point. They're going to win a couple series in a row, so that doesn't really change how I feel, but here we are all excited because they did do some damage over the last 3 series, and they're 500. They're 500. You would think, based off of how some fans feel right now, they're 15 games over 500, ready to rock and roll for a real pursuit. They're 500. I mean, this is what this team is. They give you enough to make you feel like there's something there when there's really nothing there. And that's why they're stuck in this spot. And that's why what I think is actually reasonable for this franchise long-term is to sell everything. But I don't think that's what they're going to do. They're probably going to try and make a push.
Yeah, it seems like that right now, especially because they want to justify their own existence with a guy like Dave Dombrowski, with a guy like Joe Girardi, even with a guy like John Middleton. He doesn't want to be a seller for whatever it might be, 3rd or 4th straight year in a row. So I get what you're saying there. As far as Aaron Nola goes, I think we know that Zach Wheeler has become the ace of this pitching staff. Aaron Nola, disappointing year, about what you were expecting, or horribly, obviously I know it's not a horribly impressive year, but disappointing as far as what we've seen so far?
Yeah, definitely disappointing. I think with Aaron Nola, this is where the conversation needs to shift. He had that 1 year a few years ago where he was in the 2.3 ERA Cy Young conversation, but he's been in the league for a long time now. Majority of his years are in that 3.5 ERA range. So that's where I think you need to shift your mindset with Nola. He's not that Cy Young year, but he's also not this where prior to this Nick Pivetta start, Nick Pivetta had a lower ERA than Aaron Nola as Nola was in that 4.44 range. So I guess your expectations need to be more in that 3.5, which is a good pitcher. It's not a bad pitcher by any means, but it's definitely not that Cy Young year, which was only 1 season. 1 season. That sticks out like a sore thumb more than it is the reality of Aaron Nola. So disappointing because now he's on the opposite side of that, and he's realistically more of a 3.5 range guy if you just look at his numbers throughout his long tenure now. He's been in the league long enough. We have enough of a sample size to know what he is, and it definitely is more of a 3.5 guy, which is fine. It's fine. It's a good pitcher to have, and he can help out your team. But this year, I think he's going to the opposite side. So you had the Cy Young year, you had the middle ground, and now you're having this, which is in the 4s. He's got to get back on track more into the reality.
No, I would 100% agree. Before we shift gears to basketball, I do want to ask you, was your mom celebrating the Italians Euro Championship as much as I was, less than, greater than, whatever? What was she doing tonight?
I'd be shocked if she was watching the soccer game, I'll be honest with you. I'll be very, very shocked. Now, Grandma Jean Angelini, now maybe she was having a couple glasses of red wine, kicking back. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, there you go.
Angelini. I just want to say that more and more so you like me more. I know how you Italians work.
We're a very close-knit group. What can I say? All right. Let me just admit this before we do anything crazy. One of the most recent times we spoke, maybe at the beginning of the playoffs, but maybe even before the playoffs, I had guaranteed you about $50 and then whatever ice cream, a gallon of ice cream you would enjoy, if Doc Rivers went to a bench lineup. Maybe if you're asking me at the end of the season if technically it was a bench lineup or not, I would have said no. But the fact that Doc Rivers went to a lineup so many times that was so prolifically endowed, I guess, with so many bench players, I think what I'm saying is I think I owe you some gelato and some $50 there, my friend.
Oh, okay. How about that? Maybe we can go to Creanies or we can just go on a little ice cream. I like a nice banana split. I'm not going to lie to you.
Really?
Yeah, I love a good banana. I can eat any. I'm one of those non-picky eaters where I think I'm eating chicken and it's tofu, but I don't even know because I just eat whatever's in front of me. There's never been a meal that I don't even like. I'm not a big fan of coconut water or anything coconut related. If it's in front of me, I'm drinking it. I don't even care. I just do. So, whatever comes my way, whatever ice cream we're getting, we're going to end up eating.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. What is the allure of a banana split? I've always wondered this. Why go after the banana split?
I just think it tastes good. What do you mean? You got your vanilla, you got your chocolate, you got your strawberry, you got your banana, you got your cherry stuff, you got your chocolate syrup. It's like a combination of everything. What's there not to like?
I mean, all I'm saying is like I've had a bite of somebody else's banana split, but I have never then sought after the banana split post trial period, I guess.
Well, I mean, that sounds like a personal problem. If I asked you, Farzy, what do you want for ice cream? What's your go-to? Don't tell me like a mint chocolate chip on a waffle cone. No.
First off, mint chocolate chip is the devil's ice cream. All right.
What?
Like if I'm eating mint chocolate chip, that means I got like a dentist appointment tomorrow, but I can't say no to ice cream. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't do that to myself.
I have no idea what that means.
What do you mean? You don't know what I mean? Mint chocolate chip. You got like what Listerine with little chocolate chips in it. Who the hell wants that? Who craves that? What the hell's wrong with you if you crave that?
Oh, I could crave a nice mint chocolate chip.
Really?
Even though I kind of give that off as if I was ripping it, as if why would that be your choice? I might have done that. I told you I eat anything. I'll go for a nice mint chocolate chip.
All right, so you and I are from similar families in that we don't turn down ice cream. I get it. No, it was never a thing for me. If anything, I enjoy the hot fudge sundae. I have become an elitist in sorts in that and obviously I've mentioned the Italian thing enough already on this show alone, but I do prefer a nice gelato over the regular old ice cream more than anything in the world. There you go. And if I'm being particular, I enjoy the tiramisu or the tiramisu gelato more than any other ice cream or gelato flavor that is on the planet.
Okay, I'd enjoy that as well, so I'm not anti. But anyway, back on track to the Sixers. How did we get to tiramisu?
I don't know. As sweet as Ben Simmons' jump shot.
Hey,
I don't know. Yeah. So what do you think of the Sixers?
Danny Green's comments.
Danny Green's comments. So we talked about it last week a lot in terms of I think we treat our athletes exactly as we should treat our athletes in the city. What do you make of his comments?
Yeah, I think it's out of touch for sure. You know, my thing is there's controllables and uncontrollables in sports. And the fan reaction is a controllable if you're a player. You play well, we react well. If you play bad, we react bad. We're only reacting to what you give us. We're not just screaming and booing you because you're playing great basketball. If you play great basketball, you're going to be loved and we're going to love you. And we're just holding you accountable. So if you're underachieving, as Danny Green even said, we kind of overlooked our opponent. So you overlooked your opponent, yet the reaction by the fans was unfair. I mean, please tell me how that makes sense. So we are just basing our feelings off of what you provide for us. Therefore, you could change the narrative. Play better basketball.
Well said. Well said. Hunter Brody, how is it that you get it and that professional athletes in this town just don't get it? How is that?
You know, Farzy, I've said that about a lot of things in life, about a lot of different things. You know, it's not just sports. You know, it's clearly food. I'm knowledgeable about the ice cream, coffee. I'll tell you what, I am addicted right now. And this is not something I'm proud of saying because it's $4.95 every single time I go. But I can't stop sitting in that Starbucks drive-thru getting the white chocolate mocha cold brew. I swear to God, it's every morning. It's like I won't get one tomorrow morning. And then here I am at 8:30. I'm like, hey, Nancy. Yeah, the regular? Yes, thanks. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what am I doing? So it's ice cream, it's food, it's sports. I mean, come on. It's coffee. You name it.
Now, you hold on just a damn minute there, son. You mean to tell me if I'm tuning in for coffee with Brodes, it'll be an iced coffee of sorts from Starbucks?
So that's my pre-coffee coffee. That's my coffee before the coffee. But what I did do was I just bought the Starbucks coffee for at home.
There's no warm-up lap to coffee.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm a sixer a day.
Okay, all right.
People buy 6 packs of beer. I go 6 packs of coffee.
God bless you.
I eat it with my ice cream. Yeah, I have my ice cream. I have my coffee.
So, Starbucks run, and then you go to the regular home brew, Brodes Spectacular, Brodes of Chino. What do you go with? What's next?
At home. So I wake up and it's just your good old, I got Starbucks, I got Wawa, I got Dunkin' Donuts. It's whatever I'm feeling that day. I have a Ninja. You want a cold brew, you want regular, you want bold. I can
Gotcha.
make tea. I just go with your standard black cup of Joe, basic. That's for coffee with Brodes. And then my post-show coffee, I get a little weird. You get a little French vanilla, a little hazelnut, throw a little sugar in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're insane. You've lost your damn mind.
Oh, me. Look at you right now. I lost my mind.
My team just won a championship in all of Europe, which is a whole continent we're not on right now. But anyway, all right. So last time you and I spoke, you were all about possibly trading Ben Simmons for Zach LaVine was one of them. CJ McCollum was another one. There's another crazy person you mentioned that I was not on board with, but that's where you were. I am still open shut case Dame Lillard, and that's pretty much it. Everybody else I'm willing to at least have a conversation about. Where are you right now in terms of Ben Simmons and being traded from Philadelphia? Where are you at right now?
Okay, Damian Lillard or bust. Go all in and put everything together until you swing and miss and strike out. So you're going all in on Damian Lillard. After that, Bradley Beal. I'm doing that. And this is the thing. I always ask myself, what's the floor? And I guess what scares me about this is you can always find these Malcolm Brogdon packages, this Colin Sexton packages. So you can try everything for the Damian Lillard, strike out, and you can pick up that phone, and Indiana is not going to shut down their trade offer because you waited time. So those are always going to be in play. And I guess if you can't get any of the big stars, would I be willing to do it for Malcolm Brogdon and a first? Like, here's my thing. I'd have to look money, financially, things of that nature. But what if you can get a Lowry and a Brogdon with Seth Curry, Tobias, and Embiid? So if you just think 1-for-1 Brogdon for Ben Simmons, of course, you're probably going to throw up in your mouth and not like that at all. But
Right.
what if it's Brogdon and a first-round pick and then a corresponding move that would free up some opportunities that you can maybe maneuver another piece in there? I don't know the Lowry money, the sign and trade, this and that. You're going to have to get a little interesting in that.
Right.
But that's the concept I'm trying to look at, where that's one move. But what if Morey makes 2 or 3 moves after trading Ben for Brogdon? That makes you feel more comfortable.
Okay, so in that realm, I am still having a conversation similar to the way I am with Zach LaVine, with CJ McCollum, and pretty much anybody else not named Dame Lillard. But I'm probably, again, I'd have to see all the aesthetics to it. I'm probably not making that move because I still feel like I need that one guy that will be able to hit that outside shot, create that outside shot for this Sixers offense. I still feel like so much of this revolves around that one guy being able to make plays, and Malcolm Brogdon's not going to do that for you. Kyle Lowry might be able to do that in quarters 1 through 3, but in terms of quarter 4, I think the guy that really does that is Dame Lillard, unfortunately, for that trade.
I don't disagree with you. Yeah, you're definitely still missing that legitimate piece. But I guess if your alternative is Ben Simmons coming back, how does he come back from being mocked on the SBs? He's now a national joke.
Yeah.
I'm saying not, like people are making fun of him with comedians and things of that nature. How do you bring him back now and think, what's the regular season going to be like? 82 games of watching him play where it's almost irrelevant. Those 82 regular season games of Ben Simmons, if he returns, is basically irrelevant because all we're going to be saying is, will this even matter when you come to the postseason? So it's just a hard ass to bring him back at this point.
No, you're absolutely right. So where can I send that ice cream and $50 to for Doc Rivers using so much of the bench talent in the playoffs?
Don't worry. You know what? For Italy winning, I'll give you $50 and some ice cream. How's that?
As long as you tell that sweet mother of yours to say hello.
Oh, Angelini.
As much as I want to deny that has anything to do with how much I like you, I can't.
I know. You're not the first Italian I've ever spoken to. I understand how this process works. There's a reason why the 3rd or 4th time we did this, I was in the back of my head. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Last thing for you here. Jake Voracek, Nolan Patrick, who is least likely to be on the Flyers next year?
It's a good question. I'm hearing, how about that? I'm hearing
Ooh,
that
please
the
report to me.
Flyers are interested in moving a big contract. So it's either Voracek or JVR that seems to be the hottest noise right now with this whole Seattle and the expansion draft. So I'll probably say Voracek over Nolan Patrick, even though, the Nolan Patrick experience might be done here as well. But just because I do know that one of the bigger contracts is definitely something that they are trying to move with the Seattle situation, I'll say Jake Voracek, even though I did hear that maybe JVR is another one of those contracts that's being discussed. But I'll say Voracek, even though I don't know what's in the future for Nolan Patrick here. I don't think that there's going to be a lot of success here, unfortunately. But yeah, maybe it's both. Maybe both of them are gone. Who knows?
I will say that I don't think either want to be here in Philadelphia for the foreseeable future. Let's just put it that way. Things could change, but as of right now, I don't think either want to be here for the long haul. And we'll see what the expansion draft does for either of these players in terms of maybe motivating them as to their current standing. We'll see where that goes.
They're probably not the only ones either. Unfortunately, there's things going on in that locker room that it's crazy. It's night and day. It's when Alain Vigneault first got here, they had the best locker room. It felt like it was a brotherhood. They went on a nice ride. They were down. They fought back against the Islanders. It was a fun series. Provorov overtime game winners and whatnot. And now it basically seems AV and the boys are not on the same page. And it's a little concerning for me. So, we'll see. Who knows? Winning hockey games early on, though, could totally change the tone. There was once a time they really loved him. And right now, once you start losing, it seems to go the other way. So if you start winning again, does everyone get back on the train? Possibly. But right now, inside the locker room, it seems to be a little iffy.
What do they call it? Deodorant? Winning is the best deodorant. So
I think that's it. I didn't know where you were going with just deodorant.
I was looking for some. No,
probably after all the sweating in that bar, you guys going crazy. I saw the video you put up on Twitter. I mean, going nuts. Those PKs, I'll tell you what, there, Farzy. Those PKs, thrilling.
Hey, the only thing that made it more authentically Italian was that there wasn't air conditioning. That's it. The wine, the Peroni, that's all fine.
So a lot of men with their shirts off jumping in one area a little drunk? Is that where we were at there?
That gentleman may have been intoxicated. And I was just a patron enjoying the sight.
It wasn't you.
No, of course. I was trying to watch a game, man. I got to try to report on a game.
Oh, that's right. I'm sure you just had all the X's and O's written down in your notepad.
I was trying to explain to everybody, how this attack differed from Andrea Pirlo's attack in Italy from years prior versus the attack that we saw today. So yeah, I was just trying to break it down for the good people, for my my fratelli, if you will. Hunter Brody. Make sure you check him out as always on YouTube. You can check out Hunter Brody with Coffee with Brodes. You can check out Brodes Media as well. You can hear him on 97.5 The Fanatic as well. Hunter Brody, Brodes, my dear brother, say hi to your sweet mother for me. Always great having you on the show, my friend.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Forza Azori. There we go.
See. Is that a bad way to end it?
No, that's a perfect way to end it. You kidding me? You told me to hit record at a random moment, and I did. And I think our audience got that. And now I'm going to hit end broadcast at this exact moment. Now. Wait. Hunter Brody joining us on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. So here's a little thing there. I wasn't going to hit record yet because when I tape these interviews, I have to hit record twice, essentially. I guess it's a safety thing. And I told him, all right, hold on. I don't want to record yet. Let's talk a little bit. And he goes, no. Like he saw the state I was in. And I will say, I think I held it together pretty well. I say I'm gonna do this interview, but I'm gonna tell you I had a couple of drinks, and he's like, "Hit record right now." I was like, "All right," and that's how that started, and you saw how that ended. So that is a good time right there, as always. A good time with a good friend, Mr. Hunter Brody, joining us there on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. I will say, of all the things we got into in that conversation, I still really haven't budged in anything when it comes to Ben Simmons or it comes to a trade for Dame Lillard or any of that. Nothing has been proposed. Nothing has really come out. The Brogdon stuff is the most recent that Hunter got into there. I'm still Lillard or bust, basically, because here's what I'm afraid of doing. Or I shouldn't say afraid. This is what I want the Sixers to avoid. I want the Sixers to avoid trading for another Tobias Harris. I like Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is a good basketball player. Did he have a rough playoff series? Yes, absolutely he did, against the Hawks in particular. But I don't want to trade for another guy that can sometimes be a secondary scorer after Joel Embiid. I need that guy that is absolutely not only a second scorer after Joel Embiid, competing with Joel Embiid to be the leading scorer on this basketball team. Tobias Harris is never going to threaten that. Ben Simmons certainly is not going to threaten that, at least not the way he currently plays the game of basketball. I don't want to trade somebody else that's another Tobias Harris level player. I don't want to trade for that. I want to trade for somebody that can create their own shot, that can slash, that can get you 25 points a night with great consistency. I want somebody that could take the last shot for you because they can create that shot and knock it down so that you do have the other option. Because right now on this basketball team, the guy that you count on to hit a shot in the closing seconds of a game, if you really need that shot, is Seth Curry, maybe Tobias Harris, but most of the time it's Joel Embiid. That's the guy who you want to have the ball in his hands at the end of a game every single time. But that prototypical shot-creating guard, the Sixers just don't have. The closest thing they probably have to it is Seth Curry. But you're going to look at him with great consistency going forward? Because I'm not. We got more on Seth Curry, by the way, we're going to get into in just a second. He came to the defense of his teammate Ben Simmons, as one would assume, and he did it in a way that I thought was interesting. Talked to Jeff Skversky recently about Ben Simmons and the criticism that he's taken. Talked about a little bit about Danny Green and all that. But when he talked about Ben, it's some stuff that we'll jump into in just a second. But first, I do want to tell you about Rothman Orthopaedics. When you have an orthopedic issue, you need a physician who helps you, who makes sure that they eat, sleep, and they breathe orthopedics. You need an exceptionally specialized Rothman Orthopaedics physician. They not only specialize in orthopedics, but each of their physicians not only focuses in on one area of the body, they focus in on each individual part of the body to make sure that they're giving you the best possible treatment. That means you have the confidence to get past the pain and get back to being what you were. That's right. Every single physician with Rothman Orthopaedics focuses in on one specific area of the body, so they're an expert in that area of the body. Visit them in one of their 30-plus locations in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, including 4 orthopedic-only urgent cares. Learn more at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com. Also want to tell you about our friends at FanUp. If you want to be a big player in the world of sports and you want to bet and you want to make some challenges with your friends and play some fantasy sports as well, make sure you're doing it all with the FanUp app. Download the FanUp app right now in the App Store and make sure you take advantage of the 2,000 bonus points that you get just for downloading the app. That's right. You can enter their super fun daily and weekly contests, answer fun trivia questions, rise on their leaderboard, and you can have a lot of fun talking smack with all your friends. FanUp. Just be fans. Download the FanUp app right now in the App Store. Use promo code FanUp. Get 2,000 bonus points just to get you started. And how about our friends at PHLSportsNation.com? That's PHLSportsNation.com. Enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience. They have all the coverage available there for all your major teams in Philadelphia. That's PHLSportsNation.com. We will get to our social media check-in right now, brought to you by Steak and Maine and steakandmaine.com. By the way, fine dining in the heart of Northeast Maryland. Check out steakandmaine.com for all the great things that they have available there as well. Steaks, I told you about the 2-pound steak that I had a couple of weeks ago. Fine wine pairing there you could do as well with the Gavada Cellars wines. They have incredible cuts of meat. They got oysters, they got sushi, they got fresh seafood daily. It is a great place to be. Steak and Maine and steakandmaine.com in the heart of Northeast Maryland. All right, let's now get to our social media check-in brought to you by Steak and Maine. Jerry starting us off here. Jerry Bando. Jerry, hi, how are you? Hello to you as well. Dan's checking up saying, hey, what's up, everybody? Jerry and, new to the channel. Jerry, welcome aboard. Welcome to the party, pal. April's here. Hello, April. I like that Dan and April and everyone, Mally, you just welcome in the new people. You guys are great. I will jump to this right away because I'm being trashed for my mint chocolate chip take. And I am told it is a Sealski level take, which is something to say in the chat there. I always hated, there's two things that I always hated, two ice creams that and I'm not a picky eater at all. I'll eat just about anything. All right. I ate a snail once. Escargot. It wasn't good. I won't have another one. But I will say this. Mint chocolate chip ice cream. If I was at a party when I was a kid, and they're like, hey, it's time for cake and ice cream, and they bring out the cake and they bring out the ice cream, and there was mint chocolate chip, to me, you don't even have ice cream if it's mint chocolate chip. Also, I'm probably not going to make any friends with this opinion either. Strawberry ice cream is straight garbage. All right? If you had a party and you had mint chocolate chip and you had strawberry ice cream and that was your only options, straight garbage. No, thank you. Chocolate I'll eat. I do enjoy vanilla. And I know that's like the most unpopular, lame possible thing. Literally, it's vanilla, my take on vanilla ice cream. But it's the home run for me. I like not having to make decisions. And vanilla is the easiest damn thing in the world. So there you go. But if I'm getting fancy with you, if I'm really going, I do like the swirl. I think that there is it's hard to find a better thing on this planet to eat than chocolate chip cookie dough. Brought to you by the great people of Ben and Jerry's. That is a phenomenal thing. And then there's various other things that I just really, really, really enjoy. And I'm being trashed and ripped apart for me just trying to be me and telling you that I hate mint chocolate chip ice cream because it makes me feel like I'm going to the dentist. As far as the Vinny Velasquez video, people are saying that Dan says that people don't care too much about Vinny, so it won't go viral. You're not wrong as far as that goes. April's saying low-hanging fruit, personal. Yes, April, you're right. It's very low-hanging fruit to just call somebody fat. And see, that's the thing. Vinny went personal, and this guy, I didn't hear the pathetic comment. The quote from the writer that released the story, that released the video, said that he was called, quote, pathetic. That's borderline, I would say, personal and not necessarily focusing in on his professional ability on the pitcher's mound. When you say learn how to pitch, yeah, learn how to pitch. That's your job. Learn how to pitch. I don't think the guy called you a fat ass or anything like that, and then you fought fire with fire. It was a little weird that Vinny went personal. No one cares about Vinny. There's Dan right there. Henry's checking in saying Dan is correct. Dan, you are correct. Henry's saying this kid's a damn firecracker. That's Hunter Brody. He is a firecracker, absolutely. I did talk for the Henry, you're pointing this out. I did talk again for the first 5 minutes of that interview with Hunter. Because, I had to set up the story. I was going to say, I set up the story before I went to the interview. And because sometimes we post interviews separately, I just set it up again anyway. I didn't plan to do that much of it. But my man Hunter, he's an influence, told me, hey, hit record. Yes, April, I do want to host a happy hour with all yous. I think that'd be a good time. Carter saying, what's up, Farzy people? What's up, Carter? Welcome to the chat. Don Vito's checking in. Who brought up coconut water? I believe that was our friend Hunter Brody, because I would not bring up coconut water. Here's the mint chocolate chip comments. Sealski comments, because, of course. What else do we have here? Terrence is also happy that his team won yesterday, my man. T-Bro. All right, good stuff. Okay. April, if your kid wants to do the Ancestry.com thing, that is a wild time. My dad always thought, my dad's family thought that they had Armenian blood in them, because there was a rumor about our family originating in Armenia and then traveling to Italy, living there for like 100 years, and then moving to the United States. Ancestry DNA blew that theory out of the water. They are not only about 100% Italian, they are like 100% Calabrese, like from southern Italy. It pinpoints where they were from, which was pretty wild. So it was like 97% Southern Italian, and then it was 1% North African, which I think everybody is, and then I think it was 1% Greek or 2% Greek, my dad. So that's what he's got on that side of the family. And my mom is a smorgasbord of Eastern European cultures. I've told you guys before, the culture that won out on that side of the family was Polish. Oh, here we go. Ray's checking in. Haagen-Dazs uses 48% butterfat cream. He used to make it years ago. That's interesting. Thank you, Ray. That's information I needed. Let's see. All right. So me on ice cream. Say who's this? Terrence? Is this Terrence? Terrence is saying, if that's you, don't be you. I'm not. Chocolate peanut butter. That's pretty solid, Ray. That's a good one right there. Mint Choco isn't. Strawberry is trash. Okay, you agree with me on that, Terrence. Mint Choco is not trash. No, it's trash. It's the worst thing on this planet. I'm just going to say that out loud for everybody else. And I think that's it. I think that's what we got. Thank you, everyone that checked in on the show, on our social media check-in, brought to you by Steak and Maine at steakandmaine.com. Let's get into our morning rush, brought to you by Sky Motorcars and SkyMotorcars.com, a car for every budget. Here's what we got for you. Big night in the NBA last night. Bucks and Suns played Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Bucks took that game 120-100, and an incredible game that it was for the Bucks. And what did I tell you? They're going to lose both games. The Bucks were going to lose both games in Phoenix. Then they're going to come to Milwaukee, and they're going to win both games in Milwaukee. Check the first game off. Now they'll go back to it tomorrow night, and they'll win that game. Then they'll go back to the Suns, and we'll have a nice long series go back and forth here. Here's what pissed me off, and this will help me circle in all the stuff with Ben Simmons as well. And this is just what's so damn infuriating. I'm watching Giannis Antetokounmpo really throughout the playoffs. By the way, I'm really trying hard to say Giannis Antetokounmpo, not Po, because that's the way you're supposed to say it. I'm trying, people. But anyway, I'm watching Giannis last night, and it's frustrating because every single night he's that aggressive, and he brings it every single night. I know he is the Joel Embiid of his team. He is the star player. The real gem, the crown jewel of the process, as we heard Brett Brown reference night in and night out for so many years. But, man, his mindset, his willingness, his attitude is what makes him such a great player. And that's all Ben Simmons needs. And I've talked about it many times already, about the post I saw on social media about, like, if you could give Ben Simmons 2 attributes, what would it be? And one of the attributes you could choose from was the Mamba mentality. And I'm like, you give him that mentality, he doesn't need anything else. You give him, forget the Mamba mentality, you give him Greek freak mentality, and you have a totally different basketball player. You have an aggressive basketball player that attacks the rim, that was actually hitting free throws for you last night, by the way. Giannis goes to the line last night and shoots 13 of 17 from the foul line. From the floor, he was 14 of 23, and he had 41 points in the game. And you mean to tell me you watch Ben Simmons shoot and you watch Giannis Antetokounmpo shoot, you don't see the result. You don't see the shot going in or not. You just watch those two human beings shoot a basketball. And you mean to tell me that Ben Simmons can't be a better shooter than Giannis Antetokounmpo? The way Giannis shoots is one of the most ugly things I've ever seen in my life. But he shoots. He's aggressive. He goes after the rim. He goes for points. He doesn't shy away from them in the biggest moments. NBA Finals, he's up there, 41 points. And it's all because of a mindset. His shot is ugly. His shot is almost as ugly as a mint chocolate chip ice cream. And he goes out there, and he still drops 41 points. And he still goes to the foul line. And as ugly as that is, he made 13 to 17 last night. And it's all because he's willing to do it. If Ben just had half of that, we're talking about a much different basketball player. And we're talking about the Sixers probably being in the NBA Finals right now. And that's what it comes down to above all else. Danny Green also talked about Ben Simmons to Jeff Skversky of 6ABC. Seth Curry talked about Ben Simmons. That's what I mean to say. And he talked about how aggressive Ben can be and how much work he's going to put in the offseason. But all in all, he just boiled it down to this is Ben. If you really read between the lines, what Seth Curry was saying was Ben is Ben. This is the type of basketball player he is, the type of basketball player that he's going to be. And when I hear the talk from Doc Rivers or Daryl Morey or Ben Simmons himself, whatever it might be, I don't think they're doing anything that is going to ultimately change him as a basketball player, which is why I am, and I was at a family thing over the weekend on Saturday. That's why I'm on board to trade Ben. I think most people are on board to trade Ben, but I'm just not in the mindset that a lot of other people are, which is, yep, unload him because there's no way he can come back here. Oh, no, he can come back here, especially if he's a better basketball player than he was when he walked off the court. If he does develop that part of his game, and he does change his mindset a little bit, and he does choose to become not even more aggressive, just smarter, and not being afraid to shoot or go to the foul line, you're talking about a much different player, talking about much different circumstances for the 76ers and how they're going to end their season. And that's kind of what Seth Curry got into over the weekend with Jeff Skversky. But yeah, I'm all for trading him as long as I'm getting a good return on that investment. The 4 players that I was mentioning earlier that came down that are in COVID protocol right now. Aaron Nola I mentioned, Alec Boehm I mentioned. The others are Connor Brogdon and Bailey Falter. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully they're back shortly thereafter the All-Star break, get them back in the lineup, and hopefully things work out for them, and you get them back a lot sooner rather than later. Tomorrow, we're going to get into a little bit of the ESPYs conversation from over the weekend, including Devontae Smith being named the best college football player in the nation. So that's a nice thing to see. And a much-anticipated Farzy in the field. Just when I thought I couldn't have more fun with Farzy in the field, you know what I did? I went to the Rothman rink because it closed. They closed it over the weekend at City Hall, and I went ahead and I just interviewed people on who the next team to win a championship will be. And I know it's a very common question. I know it's a very easy question. It's common is probably the better way to put it. But I knew I wasn't going to be talking to the most hardcore of sports fans there. So I wanted to make sure that I could just seek out an easy question to answer. And, oh, man, they didn't disappoint. They did not disappoint. So tomorrow on the show, we're going to have Farzy in the field. Matt's hitting me up right now on our social media check-in that I put on the rollerblades. I did not wear rollerblades. I went through the whole process of renting roller skates. I have not been on roller skates, I think, since the 4th grade. And I believe his name is Matt Morris's 4th grade birthday party at Rollerland in New Freedom, Pennsylvania, where I lived for a brief time as a child. But yeah, I like to think I handled myself pretty well on the skates, as well as I did in the Hunter Brody interview. But anyway, we'll give you that tomorrow. And I have confirmed it. I hope to have it by Wednesday. We will have our first 5-bay forecast. Why on Wednesday? So it includes the weekend, obviously. So, Luigi, I don't see you in the chat today. If I missed you, I missed you. My apologies. But you don't want to miss Wednesday's show. We'll have our first 5-bay forecast. Hopefully, we'll have that up and running for you by Wednesday. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for listening, everybody there on the podcast as well. And thank you for putting up with me and all my other exciting personal stuff with my team winning the Euro. So there you go. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. My thanks to our good friend James Hyden, who produced the program. This is a Buzz Sports and Entertainment production. My name's Marc Farzetta. Everyone in the chat, everyone listening, everyone watching, thanks so much. You guys have a great rest of your day. Be back with you guys tomorrow morning for a very fine Tuesday. Take it easy, everybody.